So this is going to be a quick video, and this video is about more ways to generate leads. We've spoken about emails and we've spoken about phone calls, and the truth is that these ways to generate leads can differ every month, right? And the reason for this is technology is evolving. People are on new platforms every day. 2 years ago, if you told me that you can send people Instagram DMs for sales, I would have laughed at you, right? But today, Instagram DMs for sales are a legit method. You can actually DM people on Instagram and get full-blown contracts. So in this video, I just want to quickly go through currently, as of August 2019, what are the best methods to generate leads outside of email and phones, right? Outside of LinkedIn and outside of finding the email out on the street. Here are the ways you can generate leads. More ways to generate leads. What a fun episode. So firstly, let's just recap what leads are. You can use any method to build a relationship. Find the best way to contact that relationship. So first you find a way to build a relationship, and then you contact and touch that relationship. You send out a touch, which is SMS, email, Twitter. You can go to the person's house. There was this one time that I wanted to really get a meeting with somebody, and I'm not going to specify the person's name because I ended up getting a meeting with that person. It was a wonderful meeting. That person refused to respond to my emails, refused to respond to my phone calls, refused to respond to my, I sent them a Twitter DM. None of that worked. Eventually, what I did was I made a box with the person's name on it. And I knew the person liked a few things, especially the person liked research, just like I do. So I printed a few research papers, put it in the box with a handwritten note saying, hey, I want just 10 minutes of your time. And then in the box, I put a pair of earphones. And I've been doing this for a long time, right? I bought a pair of earphones for like 900 rupees, just put it in there. It was worth it for me, right? The meeting was worth way more than 900 rupees. Put in the box, closed it, couriered it to the person's house. Now, how I found the person's house, that's a different issue, but I knew where the person lived from many different people. I had found out this person's address, sent the person this, right? And the person opened the box, immediately called me and said, let's do a meeting. Right? And that meeting, in my opinion, has been one of my best meetings in my life. And it's given me more than anything else, right? So we'll come to that later, but these leads actually become your network, right? When you have these people that you've reached out to, that you've built a relationship with, they become your network. Right? And 10 warm leads where a relationship is built are better than 500 cold ones. A lot of junior sales reps think, oh, I found 10,000 leads here, or somebody's selling me an email list with 1 million leads. That's useless. You just need, instead of a million leads list where you have no relationship to any of them, you're just going to come across as spam. I'd rather have 10 people who who have built a strong relationship over the years, right? And that's why I feel like businesses, when you go out and network and you build these people that you can work with, their networks become important too, right? And you can't do all of that with email. You can't do all of that just by cold calling and spamming people. Build a relationship. So use any method you can to build a relationship. There are no holds barred. Just don't go to jail. That's my advice to you. So more relationship building techniques. First one is a podcast, right? People use podcasts. I don't understand why a lot of people are doing podcasts today. Some people are just doing podcasts because they want some fame, they want some social media, likes. But the reason we do podcasts, or we've been doing a podcast, is just to build a relationship with people who can make decisions at companies. Usually, these people are also very interesting people, right? So if I got somebody like, Atul Jalan, who runs they've raised what, $140 million. I'd get him on a podcast. He'd be on the podcast. He's an interesting person. He has a lot to add and share, and that content itself is valuable. But at the end of the day, I also built a relationship with Atul Jalan and his company Manthan, which allows me to, then sell them something, right? And this is just an example of, how podcasts can help, but it's a relationship building technique. Asking a person for 20 minutes on a podcast is much easier than asking people for 20 minutes of their time to show them a demo. Because in a podcast, their ego is also, they feel like they're adding value to the world, right? It's not an ego thing per se, but they feel like they're helping out, their voice is getting out, they're doing it for the status. So that's okay. Then there's the idea of Instagram DMs. Again, if somebody has 300 followers on Instagram, they will probably respond to your DM, right? But if they have 50,000 followers on Instagram, it's hard for them to respond to your DM. Choose the least noisy channel. Right now, just A few weeks ago, the least noisiest channel to reach me out on was email. Today, that's Twitter. Right? I get very, very few Twitter direct messages or private messages, but my email number has gone up. So I don't know. Again, it's a race. Some channels get noisy and then it goes down, and then the other channel gets noisy. It depends on what I say. The next thing is events. One of the reasons we invested in the Mana network and the bar events was because it brings us a lot of deal flow. At the bar event, which we ended up spending, quite a bit of money on, we made our money back, but more importantly, all the awards we gave away at the event, right? And we gave away awards to best two-wheeler mobility startup of the year. We gave away another one for best sports startup of the year. Man, the idea behind giving away like 20 awards was the fact that we built a relationship with them. They felt good about receiving an award. And tomorrow, if I come to any of them and say, hey, can I demo Foxbound for you? Or can I demo Meta for you? Or can I demo, something else for you? Or, do you want to buy from our services company? All of them say, sure, I might not buy, but I'll take a meeting with you. Right? So that's it. The events help us a lot with building those relationships. It's not for the money. If people think we host events for the money, you're crazy. You don't make much money off events. Hosting your own event, and that's the thing, right? Like there's the difference between events and then hosting your own event. Here, I was talking to you about hosting your own event, but I know people who go to other people's events. So one of the reasons you should come to one of our events, I can be selfish about and say, hey, you end up making me some money on the tickets, but that's nothing. We don't make too much money on that. But you will build a relationship with other people at the events, right? If it's a business event and there are some influential people there, you built a relationship. It's easier for you to DM that person tomorrow or email that person or call that person tomorrow, right? Just be hardcore about it. Events really help with that. And, in America, if you went to Dreamforce, which is Salesforce's biggest event, and Salesforce, for those of you who don't know, they're a very, very big CRM. They're worth billions of dollars. They have many different tools now. Huge company. They do one flagship event a year called Dreamforce. And a lot of people attend Dreamforce with just one goal, right? They want to sell their software. They want to sell their product or their service or whatever. And they go there with their card. They go there with 100 cards and they just give out their cards to everybody. And that's how they build relationships. Although today, I think you can be a little more creative about it. If I went to an event today and I wasn't CEO and I was working for somebody else's company and I had to get leads, I'd make a Pokemon card with my face on it, with some stats. You can just be funny about it. Just be crazy funny about it, and I'd hand that out to everybody because again, they're getting hundreds of cards at the event. That's noisy. My card is least noisy. My card is the most fun, right? Which is why I really think everybody should learn design too. That's how I keep saying this. Sales, design, every skill that you learn on Meta is useful for the next skill, which is why when people tell you can only be good at this thing or this thing, I think that's questionable, right? I think all of these skills, you just end up building something even better. When you combine all these skills, you end up building a good brand, a good experience. You end up leaving a good experience you end up leaving the other person with a good experience. There's this Maya Angelou quote, right? People don't remember what you said or what you did. They remember how you made them feel. And, when you go to an event, try to leave a good impression on the other person. I don't know how you're going to do that. Then, play football with VPs, right? You can play golf with people. Seriously, right? In the old world, a lot of business relationships got built over golf. It sounds, you've seen it in movies. And there's a very specific reason for it, which is when people play golf with other people, they talk about business ideas, right? It's 1 hour relationship building where the game is there, but since it's a slow game, it's not a game that requires you to be fast-paced. A fast-paced game, for example, is badminton, right? You wouldn't be able to talk while you're playing badminton. Whereas with golf, because it's a slow-paced game, you'll be able to talk to other people and say, hey, by the way, I have this idea or I have this product. Would you be interested in buying it? And you don't pitch that immediately. First, you build a relationship, right? Then there's the idea of media mentions. Try to get some press. Because when you build press, then people reach out to you directly, or there's more credibility on you when you reach out to somebody. Give things away for free, right? What I'm doing here with you guys is building a relationship. I have no express intentions of using the relationship right now, but in 5 or 6 years, like I've mentioned before, we made a deal. We traded through time, which is if there are 2 or 3 different companies all selling the same thing, and one of those companies is Avalon. See if you can buy the Avalon product. I'm not saying you should buy it, but see if you can buy it. And this is relationship building, right? I've just spent 6 months trying to just do the content. Forget about the platform, the capital invested and stuff. I've spent 6 months of my life committing that so that 5 years later this is valuable. So let's see 5 years later. And finally, there's account-based marketing, right? Account-based marketing is, I like to call it bribing, right? I think it's a way of very specifically reaching out to somebody and giving them something, a gift or a prize or a present, where they remember you, right? And we'll come to account-based marketing because this is Meta is a course where we don't leave too much out, and we'll come to account-based marketing in a bit. So that's it for this episode. Catch you on the next.